The kingdoms of Israel and Judah, once united under the legendary King David and his son Solomon, had been fractured for over a century. This division was not just a simple political split, it was a deep and complex rift that affected every aspect of life in the region. The unity that had once brought prosperity and strength was now a distant memory, replaced by a landscape of division and discord. This division stemmed from internal strife and political turmoil. The seeds of discord were sown during the later years of Solomon's reign, as heavy taxation and forced labor led to widespread dissatisfaction. After Solomon's death, his son Rehoboam's harsh policies further alienated the northern tribes, leading to their secession and the establishment of the northern kingdom of Israel. The consequences of this schism were profound, leading to constant conflict and weakening both kingdoms. The once formidable united monarchy was now two smaller, vulnerable entities, often at odds with each other. This ongoing strife drained resources and diverted attention from other pressing issues such as external threats and internal development. It was amidst this backdrop of division and instability that Amaziah ascended to the throne of Judah, while Jeroboam II took the helm of the northern kingdom of Israel. Both kings faced the daunting task of ruling over nations that were not only divided, but also struggling with their own internal issues. Their reigns would be marked by efforts to consolidate power, address internal dissent, and navigate the complex political landscape of the time. Their reigns, though occurring in different periods, were intertwined in a complex tapestry of war, religion, and political maneuvering. Amaziah and Jeroboam II had to deal with the legacy of their predecessors, which included ongoing conflicts, religious reforms, and the ever-present threat of foreign invasion. Their strategies and decisions would shape the future of their respective kingdoms in profound ways. The northern kingdom, known as Israel, had fallen into a pattern of idolatry and instability. This was a period marked by frequent changes in leadership, with many kings coming to power through coups and assassinations. The religious practices in Israel often deviated from the worship of Yahweh, leading to further internal strife and weakening the kingdom's cohesion. It had seen a succession of short-lived dynasties. Each new ruler brought a different approach to governance, often undoing the policies of their predecessors. This lack of continuity made it difficult for Israel to achieve long-term stability and prosperity. The frequent power struggles and shifts in leadership left the kingdom vulnerable to external threats and internal rebellion. The south, the kingdom of Judah, while smaller, held fast to the Davidic line and the worship of Yahweh, the God of their ancestors. This continuity provided a sense of stability and identity for the people of Judah. The Davidic line was seen as a symbol of divine favor and legitimacy, which helped to unify the kingdom despite its smaller size and fewer resources. However, Judah also faced its share of internal and external challenges. Internally, there were issues of social inequality, economic hardship, and political intrigue. Externally, Judah had to contend with powerful neighbors who sought to expand their influence and territory. The kingdom's leaders had to be adept at diplomacy and military strategy to navigate these threats. Both kingdoms struggled to maintain their independence in a region rife with powerful empires and ambitious neighbors. The Assyrians, Egyptians, and Babylonians were just a few of the formidable powers that sought to dominate the region. Israel and Judah had to constantly negotiate alliances, pay tributes, and sometimes engage in warfare to preserve their sovereignty. It was into this volatile world that Amaziah and Jeroboam II were born, inheriting the legacy of a fractured kingdom and the daunting task of navigating their people through an era of uncertainty. Their reigns would be a testament to their ability to adapt, lead, and make difficult decisions in the face of overwhelming challenges. The story of Amaziah and Jeroboam II is not just a tale of two kings, but a reflection of the broader struggles and resilience of the people of Israel and Judah. Amaziah, crowned king of Judah at the tender age of 25, initially showed promise. He inherited a kingdom still reeling from internal strife. His father, Joash, had been assassinated by his own officials. This act of treachery left a scar on the kingdom, a wound that Amaziah was determined to heal. He began his reign by punishing those who had conspired against his father. However, he demonstrated restraint and adherence to the law by sparing their children. This act of measured justice set the tone for the early years of his reign, signaling his intent to rule with fairness and uphold the law. Early in his rule, Amaziah demonstrated a keen understanding of military strategy and a desire to restore Judah to its former glory. He recognized the importance of a strong and loyal army. Amaziah reorganized and strengthened his forces. He recalled the troops that had been previously dismissed. He also hired 100,000 skilled warriors from Israel. This move, while strategically sound, would later backfire with disastrous consequences. Amaziah's reign was not without its triumphs. His most notable military success came against the Edomites, the perennial rivals of Judah who resided in the mountainous region to the south. The Edomites, descendants of Esau, Jacob's brother, had a long and bitter history with the Israelites. They had often raided Judean territory, taking advantage of moments of weakness. Amaziah, determined to secure his kingdom's borders and avenge past grievances, launched a daring campaign against them. The campaign culminated in a decisive victory at the Valley of Salt, a region known for its harsh terrain and unforgiving climate. Amaziah's forces routed the Edomite army, killing 10,000 soldiers and capturing their stronghold of Selah, later renamed Joktheel. This victory was a resounding success, bolstering Amaziah's reputation as a strong and capable leader. It also served as a stark warning to Judah's enemies, demonstrating that the kingdom was no longer an easy target. The victory over Edom, however, proved to be a double-edged sword. While it brought glory and riches to Amaziah and his kingdom, it also sowed the seeds of overconfidence and hubris in the king's heart. This triumph, instead of being a stepping stone to greater wisdom and caution, became the catalyst for a series of reckless decisions that would ultimately lead to his downfall. It fueled Amaziah's pride, leading him to make a series of disastrous decisions. His newfound arrogance blinded him to the realities of his own limitations and the strength of his adversaries. He began to see himself as invincible, a dangerous delusion for any ruler. Emboldened by his success, Amaziah sent a message to Jehoash, the king of Israel, challenging him to battle. This was not a mere skirmish he sought, but a full-scale confrontation, a test of might and valor. He believed that his victory over Edom had proven his military prowess, and that he could replicate this success against Israel. This act of aggression was a grave miscalculation on Amaziah's part. He underestimated the strength and experience of Jehoash, a seasoned warrior and a shrewd tactician. Amaziah's challenge was not just a test of strength, but a gamble with the fate of his kingdom. Jehoash, a seasoned and cunning ruler, was taken aback by this unexpected challenge. He knew that Amaziah's pride had clouded his judgment, and he saw an opportunity to teach the young king a lesson. Jehoash's response was measured and strategic, reflecting his years of experience in both governance and warfare. He responded with a parable, warning Amaziah against his arrogance. The parable was not just a story, but a strategic move to make Amaziah reflect on his actions. It was a subtle yet powerful way to convey the message that pride comes before a fall. He compared Amaziah to a lowly thistle that dared to challenge the might of a cedar tree. This imagery was meant to highlight the disparity in their strengths and the futility of Amaziah's challenge. The cedar, strong and enduring, represented Jehoash, while the thistle, fragile and insignificant, symbolized Amaziah. The message was clear: Amaziah was punching above his weight, and this confrontation would only end in disaster for Judah. Jehoash's warning was a final attempt to dissuade Amaziah from his reckless path, but it fell on deaf ears. Despite Jehoash's warnings, Amaziah remained resolute. His pride and desire for glory overshadowed any sense of caution. He was determined to prove his strength and the might of his kingdom, even if it meant risking everything. He led his army north, eager to prove his strength against the larger and more powerful Israelite army. The march was long and arduous, but Amaziah's determination kept his troops moving forward. They believed in their king and his vision of victory. The ensuing battle at Beth Shemesh was a humiliating defeat for Judah. The battlefield was strewn with the bodies of fallen soldiers, a stark reminder of the cost of pride and overconfidence. Amaziah's dreams of glory were shattered in an instant. The Israelite army under Jehoash's command crushed the Judean forces. Jehoash's strategic acumen and the superior strength of his troops ensured a decisive victory. The battle was over almost as soon as it began, leaving Judah in ruins. Amaziah was captured, and Jehoash marched on Jerusalem, breaching its walls and plundering the city's treasures. The once proud king was now a prisoner, and his kingdom lay in tatters. The treasures of Jerusalem, symbols of its wealth and power, were carried away by the victors. The defeat was a crushing blow to Judah, both militarily and psychologically. The kingdom's defenses were shattered, and its people were left in despair. The psychological impact of the defeat was perhaps even greater than the physical destruction. The kingdom was left vulnerable and demoralized. The once proud and confident nation was now a shadow of its former self, struggling to recover from the devastating blow dealt by Jehoash and his forces. The legacy of Amaziah's costly confrontation with Jehoash would haunt Judah for years to come. While Amaziah's reign was marked by both triumph and tragedy, his story is just one chapter in the rich tapestry of Israel's history. His efforts to strengthen the kingdom laid the groundwork for future leaders who would continue the quest for glory and stability. Jeroboam II's rule over Israel was one of unprecedented expansion and prosperity. His reign is often remembered as a golden age, a time when the kingdom flourished economically and culturally. Ascending to the throne in a time of relative peace, Jeroboam II was able to focus on internal development and external expansion. His leadership brought stability and growth, setting the stage for a period of remarkable achievements. Jeroboam inherited a kingdom poised for greatness. The foundations laid by his predecessors allowed him to build a strong and resilient state, ready to take advantage of the opportunities that lay ahead. He was a shrewd and ambitious ruler, determined to restore Israel to its former glory and expand its borders to their ancient limits. His vision was not just about military conquest, but also about cultural and economic revival. Jeroboam II's reign marked a high point in the history of the Northern Kingdom. His policies and campaigns brought unprecedented wealth and stability, making Israel a dominant power in the region. He successfully navigated the complex geopolitical landscape of the region, understanding the delicate balance of power and the importance of strategic alliances. Exploiting the weaknesses of his enemies and forging alliances when necessary, Jeroboam II demonstrated a keen understanding of realpolitik. His diplomatic acumen was as crucial to his success as his military prowess. Jeroboam's reign coincided with a period of decline for the great empires of Assyria and Egypt. This decline created a power vacuum in the Near East, which Jeroboam was quick to exploit. This power vacuum in the Near East provided him with a unique opportunity to assert Israelite dominance. He seized this chance to expand his influence and secure Israel's position as a leading power. He skillfully exploited this situation, launching a series of military campaigns that significantly expanded his kingdom's territory. His strategic brilliance ensured that Israel could capitalize on the weaknesses of its neighbors. Launching a series of military campaigns that significantly expanded his kingdom's territory, Jeroboam II demonstrated his military genius. Under his leadership, Israel not only defended its borders but also pushed them further than ever before. Israel regained its lost territories east of the Jordan River. This reclamation of land was a significant achievement, symbolizing the resurgence of Israelite power and influence. He pushed the kingdom's borders north towards Hamath and south towards the Dead Sea, effectively restoring the boundaries of the kingdom to their greatest extent since the time of Solomon. This territorial expansion was a testament to his effective leadership and strategic vision. Effectively restoring the boundaries of the kingdom to their greatest extent since the time of Solomon, Jeroboam II's reign is remembered as a period of revival and resurgence. His legacy is one of strength, ambition, and the relentless pursuit of Israel's glory.